So what motivates us to keep score? I think in part we're motivated because we're trying to do something that really isn't possible. We're trying to make everything always be equal. But life is too complex. Life is too complicated. You can't make everything equal. Life is not about 34 birthday gifts here and 34 birthday gifts for the other child. It's not that simplistic. But there's a part of us, that I call it the small part of us, that's trying to make everything equal and even, and that's why we keep score. Impossible to do in a world that's so complex. We keep score sometimes. Our motivation is because we're afraid that if I don't keep score, you might be winning and you might take advantage of me. I might be doing more than you're doing, and then I'm going to be a doormat, and you're going to take advantage of me. And while it is true that there may be times in our relationships that we are giving more than the other, that giving more than the other does not automatically mean one has to be a doormat. Not at all. Being a doormat has nothing to do with the act of giving. It has everything to do with how you feel about yourself in the process of giving. Does that make sense? Because if you feel empty, if you feel less than, if you feel disempowered, that's what makes you feel like you're the doormat. Not because you may be giving more than, quote, your fair share. If you think about it, at the heart of most of our spiritual practices is the idea of being used. You see, sometimes we keep score because we don't want to be taken advantage of. We don't want to be used. And yet, if you read Jesus' words, if you read the words of the great masters, if you read the words of many of the saints, they all talk about be used. What is St. Francis's prayer? But a prayer of being used. But it sounds so much more beautiful the way he says that. Right? Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there's hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. He's saying, use me. He's not saying, use me for those that deserve me. He's saying, use me. Use me. Use me. You see, if we take to heart those words, do it all as if you're doing it for God, you can't be taken advantage of. Because God will give back to you in God's own time and in God's own way. Untold blessings. You can't make it be equal on the human level. You see, sometimes we try to play almost like God, that we're going to try to keep everything even Stevens, because maybe we don't really live in a reciprocal universe. Maybe there's a loophole to some of these spiritual principles, so I'm going to get in there and fix it and make sure, just in case there's a loophole. It's a whole different energy and mindset if we say and feel, whatever I do in a relationship, I'm doing not to keep score. I'm giving because I want to. I'm giving not from a place of lack or from a place of insecurity. I'm giving from a place of love. I'm giving from a place of abundance. I'm giving from a place where I know that I am connected with my source.